Alrighty, so I had recently beat Stalker 2. I've put about almost 100 hours into the game. I've started a new run because they've been, giving it some new updates, but I kind of wanted to go over, in a sense that this is a review, but it's more of things I've written down, pros, cons, and just genuinely talking about the game. And so, going into Stalker 2, I, to be honest, have barely played the other games. I mean, maybe 45 minutes, and then I gave up just because it was so clunky, and I try to give older games a chance when I can, but the older Stalker games were pretty rough for me to try to get into starting, basically this year. But ever since I saw the trailer for Stalker 2, I was excited, after obviously playing games like Fallout and Metro 2033 and Metro, all the entire Metro series. I was excited to see, hopefully, that, Stalker 2 would be new age enough that it wouldn't be so hard to get into and play. And thankfully, even though the game has a lot of things for you to learn and understand, it's a lot more welcoming for, your modern audience to this kind of game. And one thing I can say is I wouldn't say it wasn't a disaster on launch, but controller support on PC was whack. You basically could not use a controller, but I'm kind of wondering if that was actually a good thing in the end, because here's the thing, at least from what I've noticed on PC, enemies move around a lot, and your guy is aiming is relatively slow. I suppose you could try upping your sensitivity. I've never had good luck with that, even on a controller, whereas with a mouse, I can really pinpoint headshots, and enemies in this game will fucking one-shot you, almost. They can kill you very quick with a no-scoped AK-47 from, a mile away. So you really need to get those shots in good as quick as you can. But yeah, I think the controller support has been fixed now. I'd have to test. I've almost got 100 hours in with mouse and keyboard, so I've gotten a little too used to it and kind of the groove of it. But I do know there was also a lot of crashing issues. I myself, to this day, still get a lot of crashing issues, so I downloaded Stalker 2 onto my hard drive, my HDD, not my SSD, because my SSD ran out of space. So it can run on an HDD, just be aware that when it compiles its shaders, it's going to take about 25 minutes before you can even play the game. So I'll usually turn like a YouTube video on or something. But even when I jump into the game, I let my character sit there for a good, 4 to 5 minutes, because when I load in, it takes forever for it to load everything in. So I just, again, let it sit. But just be aware that, you can technically play it on an HDD if you absolutely have to. Just be aware that, at least for me, every time I play, it's bound to crash every session. And I don't know if that's due to the game or if that's due to me playing on an HDD. But, yeah. Basically, if I play for over an hour and then I get into like a big firefight or something, it's bound to crash once. But enough about, the launch stuff. I don't want to spoil too much about the story. You play as a man named Skiff, and you're basically uncovering so much hidden secrets within the zone, and you get to meet old characters and honestly get to experience some very, very trippy stuff. Something I can say, I still hold true to it, is my first playthrough, I played it on easy, and it took me about 50 hours to get through the story, which is crazy. That's a huge plus I will give this game. Is my brain is so set on it being oh, it's just gonna be, you know, a 20-hour campaign, something, something. It's gonna rush through it, done. And so as I was playing it, I kept going, oh, okay. I guess it's about to end here. Oh no, okay. Maybe it's gonna end here. Oh wow, no, it keeps going, and it kept going, but not in a bad way where I'm thinking, oh, it's dragging. No, it kept going, revealing more secrets, getting more tense. You open up the map more, and the stakes just become so much more bigger. And that kind of leads me into the map of the game. I was not anticipating the map to be so big. It just keeps opening and opening, and by the end, you go to Pripyat, and so I believe that's one of the older games. I have them all. I just have not played. You know, I think I played Shadow of Chernobyl for 45 minutes, and that was about it. But yeah, the map in this game is huge, and there is technically a fast travel system, but in the early game, you're not really going to be able to use it because it's between like $1,500 to almost $3,000 or whatever Ukrainian currency is to fast travel. And so I couldn't really do that comfortably till way later on in the game, because what's nice about fast traveling is, again, as nice as it is how big the map is and how big the story is, it can be very aggravating walking around the zone, because weight management, in my opinion, kind of sucks. And sorry, I don't know if I'm getting sick or something, but you have a certain amount of weight you can hold, which can change based off, you know, the armor you find or artifacts you find that can help you boost your carry weight. But for most people going in, you're not really gonna like the likelihood of finding that, in my opinion, is low. I basically had the same gear up to the end when I finally got an exoskeleton, but I couldn't find the mod to make sprint, so the exoskeleton was useless, so I just got rid of it. So my carry weight was roughly, I think, 85 pounds, something like that. And you can only have a sidearm and 2 main weapons, and so you have to kind of choose wisely about what you want to carry. And depending on, because in my playthrough I picked up a lot of shotgun ammo and a lot of pistol ammo, so I told myself, well, I will probably keep the shotgun and, you know, some form of submachine gun on me, because that's the most ammo I pick up. But it sucks because then there's so many other weapons, like a belt fed RPK, or AK-47 or a sniper rifle or this and that, and I just felt like I could never really use them because I rarely would find the ammo for them. I would find plenty of shotgun ammo. That was like the most ammo I'd find. And so eventually in the story, when I got a Sega 12 semi-automatic shotgun, it was perfect. I mean, I basically used that and to the end. My new playthrough, when I get it again, I'm going to be using it again. It's super overpowered and a great gun. But yeah, so there would be times where I'd want to carry, you know, one extra gun in my inventory just to maybe switch it out, but it takes up enough weight where you're trying to have bullets and health and food and energy drinks or water to refill your stamina, and it just adds up so fast where I'm not over encumbered enough to not move, but I move so slow that it takes me, you know, 15 plus minutes to walk from one point to another in the zone. And that was something that really just kind of hindered the game for me, where it kind of took me out of it, because you have the, you know, the scenery of the zone, and it really doesn't change anywhere until you go to Pripyat, where there's more buildings for you to check out. But everywhere in the zone basically looks the same, so it kind of made me bored that I had to, you know, spend 14-15 minutes walking just because I'm carrying too much. But then if I drop everything, I'm more likely to die in a firefight, whatever, because the game also does something very, very odd where it'll just spawn a group of 3 or 4 humans right next to you at random. And again, to this day, even with after all the updates, the NPCs, with whether they have a shotgun, pistol, AK-47, whatever, can freaking they got those NPCs literally aimbotting you, and they almost never miss. And it doesn't help that they can shoot through walls and stuff because they're aimbotted to your character. So even when I'm hiding behind a wall, they can pinpoint where I'm at, shoot through the wall, and hit me. And so firefights in this game are challenging, but challenging in an annoying way because you make all your NPCs have god tier aim with no matter what gun they have. And so that's why, again, I'm playing with mouse and keyboard. I peek out of cover and I'm trying as fast as I can to get a headshot. Otherwise, because usually the headshot's one and done. Because they just, of course, your guy dies so fast. And then with other enemies, if you just keep shooting them in the body, it can take a sec for them to die. And it's one of my biggest flaws with the game is the AI able to aimbot you is so absurd. Even on the easiest mode, it kept happening. And I was just wondering, why on earth would you design where 3 enemies with shitty AK-47s, no attachments, who are, 500, 600 feet away from me, can accurately shoot me non-stop? It just does not make sense, and I pray they work on the AI on that aspect because it's honestly pretty unfair. And of course, with the weight management stuff, it can make it hard to run away and die easier. And with your stamina bar, if you are close to being over encumbered, that thing drains fast. So you'll drink water or you'll drink energy drinks to refill it. But, the more you carry of those, the more weight. And so, I guess another thing is figuring out the weight problem. And I know everyone's saying go find these artifacts, use them. I used a couple artifacts. I didn't really use much besides 2 or 3 that I found mid-game. Just because that's a whole system I need to actually sit down and look at, because I didn't understand it at first, and I kept wondering why I was getting radiation damage when I wasn't doing anything. But it's because the artifacts let off radiation, so you also have to be cognizant of that as well. I somehow didn't realize my first time playing that vodka reduces radiation, and so those you can find everywhere. So I've just been stocking up on those, using my artifacts. Not a big deal. But being in a good weight limit in this game is going to save your life, because there are quite a bit of places where you need to jump up or jump around, and being a lighter weight is going to help so much because it affects even like your jump height and all of that. Now, I do wish you could grab ledges. There's weirdly sometimes where your character will kind of do a split animation where he's kind of grabbing an edge to vault over, but it's not really like a common thing, because there's plenty of places where I'm looking up and I'm like, you could just grab that ledge, right, and climb up. But no, it's like you have to like do, an early 2000s thing of jump on the box to the right and then jump up on the box above it and then jump to get to the spot, instead of your guy could literally grab the ledge that's, right above him at arm's length. It was just a weird gameplay, I don't know, mishap, something that I noticed. But yeah, I would say the gunplay also in this game is relatively good. It feels, in my opinion, realistic. There is no holding back that your guy is firing guns and there's recoil. Like you're holding an automatic and you hold the trigger, that gun is, gonna be hard to keep straight. And there's bullet drop. You have to account for that. At least from what I've noticed, every time I try sniping a guy that's a little too far, I swear I see the bullet drop. So that's cool, some realistic stuff. Something they do that's neat is that your guns have, like health. And so the more you use it, the more it deteriorates, but it'll never like fully break. It just jams. And so when it's in a yellow state, it might jam a little bit. When it's in a red state, it's going to probably jam guaranteed once every clip or even more. And so you have to be aware of that, because your character doesn't automatically clear the jam. When it happens, you have to click reload again. Clears the jam, then you have to click reload again and then reload. It's a cool feature. It can make, firefights tense, but also annoying, because sometimes you're too far away from a repair guy, and so you kept going. Now all your guns are red and all your guns keep jamming. You're swarmed by, 3 NPCs that just spawn out of nowhere and kill you in 5 seconds. So situations like that can suck. But I found S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 to be so fascinating. Like, it doesn't really do anything new, but what's there is done fascinating enough for me to keep playing. Like, I kept getting so angry with the game, asking myself, why is the AI like this? Or why would they make it where, I have to walk around the zone and be over encumbered and this and that and all that. But then I'd keep playing and I'm like, oh, where are we going at in the story? Ooh, I just picked up, a new gun, or I'm overstocked on first aid kits. This is awesome. And I'm in this creepy old abandoned oil factory or whatever, and there's a strange mutant in here, or ooh, I'm walking around and I found this, tiny little house. What's in here? And it was like that kind of curiosity that really just made me want to keep playing. Now, we'll say on an enemy variety, besides humans, there are mutants. There's an incredibly insufferable enemy called the Psy-Dog. And basically, it's a mutant dog that can summon clones of itself, but I swear to God, it does not stop. And so there's a mission where you have to destroy 3 totems or whatever, but that dog is chasing you through a swamp. And good luck finding the real fucking dog. I'll be honest, that was one of the most annoying missions, and I even looked on Reddit and so many people were like, yeah, I just stopped playing right here because this mission design is so stupid and was just meant to basically use you up of all of your resources and just be as annoying as possible. And I felt it. I mean, I was just stuck on that mission for a long time, and those side dogs, so annoying, because you'll just infinitely keep wasting your ammo on the fake one trying to find the real one, and the real one, it turns out, is just like sitting there hiding behind a crate or something. And then there's one mutant where it's like a floating ghost. You can kill him relatively easy, but he can pick up stuff to throw at you. Then there's a mutant that can grab your gun out of your hands and start shooting you with it, which is annoying because the mutant did that to me, took my Saiga 12, and when I killed him, my Saiga clipped through the fucking wall and disappeared, and so that extremely made me mad. There is another mutant where people kept saying, well, if you don't look at it, he can't do the thing, but he like makes you dizzy, so you can't really aim or anything. But what happens is, whether you're looking at him or not, he'll do it. And so you have to somehow figure out how to run up to him and just unload, shotgun rounds or something to kill him fast, or he just sits there and spams doing that to you. And so that was annoying. Now, for these Psy stuff, you can use Psy block if you can find them or buy them, and it helps with that. I rarely found any, and I didn't look in shops to see if I could buy any, because the game also has it where you can get attachments for your gun. Technicians can install certain upgrades. It is kind of aggravating to have to try to find certain technicians who can do certain things, because they don't really specify like, oh, you're at a technician level 4 or anything. You just have to hope that the next one you find can do it. And you can do, you know, lasers, scopes, foregrip, whatever. But shopkeepers also sell sights and certain attachments. What's, I guess you could say, nitpick, kind of annoying, is that you can't really combine the attachments to the gun in your inventory. You have to like equip the gun, then throw in the attachment there. Just a little annoyance. The attachments do help. You have your main pistol that's like a quest item basically and can't be removed, and so I've added attachments to that. Works well. Also, going back to when I was talking about those mutants that grab your guns out of your hand, if you're holding your quest pistol, they can't do that, and so it makes it a lot easier to kill them with your pistol. You know, before I end the video, I also just kind of want to mention that the game does have choices you can make that affect the story. And so how I beat the game, I'm gonna basically do the opposite choice and see how it affects the game this time. And there are a lot of NPCs that you can just outright shoot or kill right from the get-go and change the story. And so it's fascinating, for after you've at least beaten the story once, to go restart it and try and see. There was a bug I had, unfortunately, at some point in the story where I went back to Zalissa, which is like the first base you go to in the lesser zone, and the door wouldn't unlock, and so everyone in there died. It really upset me. But yeah, overall, I have a love-hate relationship with this game, but I had such a blast beating the game and having these tense firefights. I personally still think Metro Exodus was done a lot better than this game, but I'm not saying it's necessarily the better game. I think S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, you know, it doesn't excuse it, but I think after a few more updates, it'll be a lot more enjoyable. So I am looking forward to that. But that's just kind of me going over the game. I would only recommend this if you loved, again, Metro Exodus, and even if you played like Fallout on hardcore mode. But and maybe wait for it to go down a little bit in price or on a sale. So that's gonna be it for this video. I appreciate you watching. I'm out.